now. So, alright, here's my intro. Hey guys, this is Purge. I'm doing a little bit of a coaching session right now. This is actually the first coaching I've ever done for Dota. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm here with Joe. Joe, you want to say hi?
Hey.
Alright guys, so I'm going to be coaching Joe today. You can see his stats right now. I have them up on my Firefox or my Chrome browser. So here's his name, Thunder Squirrel, and if we look at his stuff, we can learn a few things about his performance and kind of stuff that he wants to work at. So he's hovering just below a 1 KD. It's a very rough margin to be below, but he's almost past, and I'm sure with a little bit of help here we can get him above that. So important things to look at here, other than KD, is that his assists are higher than his deaths and his kills. This is a very important thing. This means he doesn't steal kills and he's actually a team player, so that's definitely good to see. His creep kills is actually very high, 83 here. His denies is 5, a little low, but 1 tower kill a game, not bad at all. That's really nothing horrible. His win ratio is greater than his loss ratio, which is also a great thing. And if we scroll onto the games played, he has a smattering of easy mode and regular mode. So Joe, why don't you tell me a little bit about your Dota history?
So I've been playing since version 6.06, which is about 6 years ago now.
Wow.
It was the start of Ice Frog's reign, so I'm an old guy. I've been playing on and off for a few years.
A few years?
Right now,
holy shit. Damn, dude.
Yeah, right now I'm in the on stage, I guess. I've been playing a lot recently.
Gotcha. Okay, so sometimes you take breaks and things like that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've done that a little bit in the past myself. I haven't ever given very much info about my previous history on my YouTube before, so I'm sure people will be interested to hear this, but I've only been playing about 3 years, so you got me beat there. I played it once or twice when Dota was first on Warcraft 3, because I first bought Warcraft 3 to play customs, but after that I pretty much just did not play it for the longest time. Once in a while I would dabble with it for a month, but then I really got into it about 3 years ago, where I started playing it as pretty much my main focus. Once in a while I would take breaks, you know, StarCraft 2, stuff like that, other good games, but yeah, like you, taking breaks occasionally, so alright, that's pretty cool. And why don't you talk to me about the discrepancy? You don't always play regular mode, you do play easy mode. Is there a reason that you do this specifically?
I go through phases. Sometimes I like regular mode because it's clearly more balanced and offers a better game. But sometimes I just like to mess around and get lots of huge items and fight with them.
That's a good point. I think that's like legitimately the only reason why people pick so many carries in pub games, because you know you want to see your name on the board as many times as possible, and you want to get those double kills. It's so rewarding, and you farm up those big items. But you know, then you have those problems where everybody's a carry, so it's tough to farm. So that is understandable, though. If that's what your goal is, if you just want to screw around and crush pubs, go for it. But I would argue that if you want to get better at Dota, you should stick to regular mode. Almost always, at least like 80% of the time. So first thing, that's my first tip. Stop playing easy mode unless you really want to dick around or you're playing like a weird game type. Like a Remshams, we always play easy mode because that's 5 people in the same lane, and that's 4 creeps every 30 seconds or minute or however often they spawn. I can't believe I don't even know that. But yeah, so try to stick to regular mode. That's my first tip. That will be important. In terms of the heroes that you play a lot of carries here. I see a ton of carries on your easy mode games. On your regular mode games, you did mention that you liked Chaos Knight the best, and he is on here a few times. Is that correct still?
Yeah.
Okay. Chaos Knight is actually good in the metagame currently, so you're in luck there. He is picked by pro teams regularly. I just casted a pro team playing them like 2 days ago, so that's good for you. And a lot of the other guys that you pick definitely have their uses. So it seems like you play heroes that are generally usable. Ursa, one of the heroes, I would say that probably isn't that usable, but every other carry you play is doable. So what we'll probably end up doing here is we can talk about a few specific heroes that you're either having trouble with or you want to get better at. We're going to spend like 15 minutes, 20 minutes here talking about the heroes that you're interested in, and we can go over laning strategies and stuff like that, because you're obviously good enough that you don't need me to explain the basics. I can talk about like broad things like better lane control or starting item builds and things like that, but do you have any questions so far about any of that stuff I just said?
Not so far.
Okay.
So far so good.
Alright, so which heroes are you most curious about, or most interested in getting better at?
I didn't have anybody in mind in particular, just all around getting better is my main goal.
Okay. Well, since you do play a lot of carries, we can talk about that. So in a normal
Okay.
Dota game, especially in the current metagame, and this has kind of been the way for the longest time, is you have approximately one carry. Almost always one carry in the whole game. And this is kind of a problem because there's like 107 heroes in Dota, and you know, the four agility taverns, most agility heroes are carries, and there are some strength carries and some intelligence carries, but primarily all of the agility heroes pretty much are carries. They're not supports,
Yeah.
they're carries. And if you only have one carry in a whole Dota team, that's 20%, not 33. So that's part of the problem, is that people pick a lot of carries. So what the general best way to play Dota is right now is you have one hero in each lane that gets all of the CS. And by CS I mean creep stats farm. So for example, if you want to play carry, you really just got to go for it when nobody else is playing carries, and that's tough to do sometimes. Like personally myself, I almost never play carries, partially because somebody else always picks it, and just secondly because it's not my favorite playstyle, but it's definitely worth doing. And if you do want to play carry, that's just the first thing out of the way. Only pick a carry if the other guy in your lane doesn't have a carry. That's very important. And that comes down to lane setups as well. So when you're walking the lane, I know this isn't once again easy to organize because it's still a shitty pub game and people don't care what you say, but try to go in a lane that doesn't have a farmer in the lane. Now, knowing which heroes are farmers and which are not largely comes down to just player experience, and I can open up like Play Dota or something. Oops. Oh god, my typing is horrible right now. So I'm going to go to playdota.com, and I'm going to go to the Heroes tab, and I'm going to be able to see all the heroes here. So this is just going to give me some like broad idea right now. Are you there with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I'm not going to go over every hero, but I don't really know my point was on this. I'm kind of winging this whole thing right here. But yeah, it's just important to know what kind of heroes are good carriers, and make sure that you don't end up laning with them. As well, this is another thing when you pick heroes. This is kind of a general guideline rule is, for example, you shouldn't dual lane an Invoker, you know? He's a very, very powerful hero, but he's not the guy that you want to get a dual lane in. So that's also very, very important when you pick. So these are just general tips here. This kind of stuff and this kind of knowledge will make you better at the game, and it's going to make your KD better mainly, because then when you're picking your heroes, you can look and say, well, we already have a really good solo. Like that guy should really solo mid, and I shouldn't fight him for that, and I shouldn't play Invoker because let's be honest, he's really shitty in a dual lane. There's actually quite a few heroes. That's another little bit of a thing that noobs mess up, is they pick heroes that are really only good solo. Magnus is an example. I think Magnus is only good solo. Invoker is only good solo. I can go over some other ones here. Let's see. I mean, you can do tri-lane stuff arguably sometimes. Nubian Assassin is a good example. Generally much better in a solo lane. Viper, much better in a solo lane. Pretty much Shadow Fiend as well, but most people know that one. Bloodseeker, much better in a solo lane. Stuff like that. Just kind of weird heroes that most people think. Storm Spirit. Your typical solo heroes, much better in a solo lane. Try not to pick those if somebody else picks. So just like knowing what heroes to pick at the start of the game, or as the picking goes through. What game mode do you pick? Do you do AP primarily? Or
AP and RD.
AP and RD, okay. So yeah, you have a lot of options. It's not like it's AR or SD. Even SD can be tough sometimes. You kind of get pigeonholed into heroes that you don't necessarily want to play or don't fit the strategy very well. But like I was saying before, one solo hero or one farmer hero to each lane. That's something important to keep in mind. That guy should be getting all of the farm. Like legitimately all of the farm. It is almost always better to let the carry solo farm and you as a support hero pull creeps and get CS that way and get gold that way, or by getting kills by roaming. So that's like a very, very important thing to look out for when you're playing pub games. If you're playing a support role, you let the carry get farm, and if there's a support role in your lane, you ask him very nicely to please let you get all the farm. Because if a Void can get like if a Void or a Spectre can get like a 6-minute Vanguard or something like that, that basically guarantees them not dying in a gank for the next like 6 minutes if you're playing correctly, you know? That kind of stuff is super, super important. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be support heroes. Going to the back seat, basically, supporting but not taking CS, don't even try to last hit, because that makes it just a pain in the ass. And I'm sure when you play easy mode games, you just fight your lane partners for CS. Is that correct?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, and that's just as hard. I mean, what's the difference between that and you soloing mid against an enemy who's trying to outlast you? You know, you're still like completely divvying up half of the gold, and that's a pain in the ass. So if you do play a carry hero, try to go in a lane with a support, preferably the safest lane. So if you're on Sentinel, you want to lane bottom, and if you're Scourge, you want to lane top, because those are harder to gank. You're not as far. You're always closer to your tower. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so go on the safe lanes. Go with the support. Let your carry get all the farm. Let the support heroes do pulling and ganking and roaming and stuff like that. So that's pretty much all the basic overviews. I hope you don't already know all that stuff, but you may. Yeah, I'm kind of winging this, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, so do you want to go over? Why don't you tell me since you said CK is your favorite hero, why don't you go over a typical CK build starting with starting items?
Okay, for starting items, I usually get a Quelling Blade. He already has extremely high base damage, and this just makes it obnoxious for last hitting.
I would agree with that. Okay, what else do you get?
And I believe I usually get 3 branches and a set of tangos or 2 to later be turned into a magic wand.
Okay, that sounds great. That's pretty much exactly what I would get. The only thing that I would be concerned about is looking at the enemy players and just kind of planning ahead to see what you might be laning against. But Quelling Blade is definitely a great choice. You will be able to last hit like crazy. And Wand is also very good on Chaos Knight because he does have early mana problems. And kind of mana problems throughout the whole game, actually. He's one of the few heroes that ends up being the case for. In terms of skill build, what do you go for?
I max Chaos Bolt first, followed by Reality Rift, and I skip my ultimate until level 9.
That's awesome. That's exactly what I would do as well. And you might be able to get a little early. I have seen some pros get it at 6 now, because the mana cost did get greatly reduced. But I'm not completely sure about that yet. I'm not quite sure. All right, that sounds great, awesome. And what do you? So other than the wand, what do you build into early game?
I use Wand, and then I get an Urn of Shadows,
Good.
And those 2 help my mana problems a decent amount.
Do you ever have any mana issues other than that? What do you get for your boots?
For boots, I stay Boots of Speed for most of the game.
Really? Well, I would say that's your first problem. So instead of Boots of Speed, I think the fast Urn is great. I just saw PowerNet get that like 2 nights ago, and he's one of the best North American players right now. He went super fast Urn, and that's super good in lane for a couple reasons. Basically, every time you get a kill, that's 400 HP that you can regen or use that offensively. That's super good. So I completely agree with the Urn. The reason you get treads, do you ever tread switch?
Not really.
Alright, well that's the next thing you gotta work on. It's super nice to tread switch, honestly. Like, once you get into the habit, you'll do it every time. Do you have item hotkeys and stuff like that set up?
In a limited manner. I have 2 buttons on my mouse that I've hotkeyed to 2 item slots.
All right,
so it is difficult
perfect.
for me to use more than 2, but 2 is easy.
Yeah, 2, honestly, I played on 2 for like 2.5 years, for a very long time. I seriously got over 2 item hotkeys not even 6 months ago, so you're fine. 2 item hotkeys gets you covered. The only problem is tread switching is kind of minor compared to other things like wand or bottle or sheepstick, you know, so that might be a problem, but there's some programs that I can link you later, and maybe I'll put some in the drop down right now, or for the YouTube video, so that other people can know where to go. But basically, more item hotkeys than that will allow you to tread switch, and the benefit is you switch to agility treads because that'll lower your mana as low as possible and your HP as low as possible. You pop your wand, and you will get a small percentage increase in heal. So that's something important to remember. So if you're low on HP and you have a full wand and nobody's even close to killing you, switch to int or switch to agility, pop your wand, and then switch back to strength or intelligence. So that's going to be how you're going to fill some of your mana gap early game. Is you're going to get treads, and then if you're low on mana, you're going to switch to intelligence, because with more intelligence by switching to intel, you regen more mana per second. So that's an important thing. If your mana's low and you have no chance of dying, switch to int treads, you will regain mana faster. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go offensive, you just switch to strength, and then you can deal damage that way. Never really switch to agility, there's no point. You'll just get like very minor attack speed, obviously, and armor, but it's negligible. And of course, if you can afford the mana when you're phantasming, switch to strength treads, because illusions are only based off of stats for their damage.
Yes, I'm very aware of that.
Okay, good. So strength treads are the way to go when you ult, unless you're low on mana. So if you're ever low on mana, or you just need a little bit more mana to cast a spell, Tread switch to Int, it might be enough to get you that extra mana. Or Wand and then switch to Int Treads. So I feel like Treads with the Wand with an Urn is really enough to handle Chaos Knight now. It's a little iffy. You can do other builds like Soul Rings and stuff, but Soul Ring is kind of a questionable item on him in the first place, because that'll lower your HP of your illusions, stuff like that. But other than that, that's awesome. So what do you get for a major item after those?
I go Django next. I know it's a lot of small items, but I have found it works nicely.
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
It gives me a little bit of intelligence that helps with everything. A total of 9 once I finish it.
I wouldn't even call that a little bit. That's a shitload of intelligence. Like, Django is, in my opinion, like one of the best items in the game right now. I love it. It costs like 1900. And it gives you +9 to all stats, +9 damage, and that aura plus the charges. And it costs less than an ultimate orb, and an ultimate orb gives 10 to all stats. It's like the only item that breaks the like typical Dota formula. There's like legitimately a formula where you can say how much utility can you buy per gold, and Django right now is like one of the best, is probably breaking that rule.
Yeah, I realized that, so I make it a point to always get that, especially since he benefits from the plus stats, and his illusions do too.
That's exactly correct. So yeah, want to get your intel higher, you want to get your strength higher, your agility higher, it's all going to help out. The only downside to getting the Django is that it doesn't extremely increase your damage output, and is going to put you off by 1700 gold. That's the only problem with it right now. What's your favorite damage item to get on Chaos Knight?
I followed that up with a Sanjin Yasha.
Sanjin Yasha, that is your next mistake. One second, I have to mute my Ventrilo. I forgot to do that. Alright, my Ventrilo is now muted. Sanjin Yasha is a bad decision. It's kind of one of those items that looks extremely perfect, but it really isn't. It's not the most ideal possibility. You are going to get the slow from the bashes, but you're already looking at a 2 to 4 second stun from Chaos Bolt, correct? And that's a beast stun coming from a carry.
Yeah.
And you have Reality Rift to chase. You really don't need the movement speed a whole shitload, pretty much. And you really don't need the Sanj to disable a whole shitload. If you wanted a Sanj and Yasha on Chaos Knight, I would say get the Sanj and leave it at that. And that's for 2 reasons. First of all, it's strength, which gives you damage. Cool. The MAME, not horrible, but not really completely ideal because you're more concerned about damage. But the second part about it that's really nice is it gives you equivalent HP to a Vanguard for about the same cost. So, stacking HP on illusion heroes like Chaos Knight starts getting disgusting because AoEs really shut down illusions really fast. So if you pump up their HP just a little bit more, it might be enough to keep them alive, and they will actually end up doing a lot of damage. So if you really want to get a Sanj and Yasha, just stick to the Sanj and stop there, and then go on to damage items or tank items. Okay? But the best damage item early game on Chaos Knight is an Armlet, and the reason that is, have you ever gotten Armlet on him before?
I haven't, but I understand why it's powerful.
Yeah, gives you like plus 40 strength just by turning it on. Then you split your Phantasm, and your illusions, they do not get the like minus 40 HP per second. So it's super good. And then you can just switch it back for your regular hero if you're worried about taking the HP over time. But definitely Armlet is the best Chaos Knight item. It's so powerful. So if you want to go the Treads, Wand, Urn build, and you're concerned about raping face as fast as possible, definitely get an Armlet shortly afterwards. That should be your main damage item that you're going for. I have seen other builds, but primarily they were something like, you know, like Wand, Treads, Urn, something about there, and then they would get a Sanj and then get a Heart, because that would stack the shit out of his HP. He'd have really high strength numbers, his illusions would hit hard, and his illusions would be hard to kill. So I haven't seen it work obscenely good. I think the Armlet build works a lot better, personally, but those are pretty much, right now, that's the current best Chaos Knight build that's generally decided.
Okay, and I have one more question then.
Go for it.
So normally after my Sanjin Yasha, I followed up with the Boots of Travel, finally finishing my Boots of Speed.
Okay.
Because I feel like that gives me such tremendous pushing power. If the game is in some stalemate, I can pop my ultimate for surprise racks if they're not paying attention to a lane.
That's true. That is an option, but you have to look at what you're sacrificing there. You're spending a lot of gold on Sanjin Yasha to make yourself fast, and you'll attack a little bit faster, but you really won't be hitting super hard, despite having like one of the best crits in the game. I mean, Sanjin Yasha is like probably close to 5,000 gold off the top of my head. I can check this, but it's pretty expensive. Let's see, items and Sanjin Yasha, where are you at? There it is. 4,300 gold for Sanjin Yasha. That's what you're spending on a mediocre damage item and a mediocre utility. That's probably the best way to describe it. It's really not very good on a lot of heroes. The only one I would say, the only hero the Sanjin Yasha is really good on is Terrorblade, probably.
Okay.
And then if you go after that and spend 2,200 gold on a Boots of Travel, just for the option of sometimes maybe backdooring them if they're not paying attention, and of course the option that you do not have to worry about a TP scroll, and it gives you a shitload of movement speed, and gives your illusions a shitload of movement speed. That's kind of a crapload of gold for some mediocre optional items. I mean, if you just get that, and not to mention you're delaying your potential, like, what are the chances you're going to get all those first items, plus the Sanjin Yasha, plus the Boots of Travel, in a regular game? I mean, that's pretty late farm, and that's assuming you don't die in team fights. You really want, like, the best survivability and the best HP and the best damage output per gold cost, and those items are not going to give that to you. I mean, if you think of the difference between a Boots of Speed, a Wand, and an Urn, like the build that you're talking about, and let's say an Ogre Axe on top of that, compared to Treads, Urn, and a Wand, the damage output is severely different. And Treads is easier to build up, and you can Tread switch to Int. I mean, do you see how many more options that is, rather than just slowly building towards your Sanjin Yasha?
Yeah.
And right off the bat, you're going to be able to kill a lot harder, and have more options, and do better things. So if you go straight into that instead, if you get Treads instead, all of a sudden you're like a killing machine from there on, no problem at all. So I think that's very important that you need to look at. And Treads are going to pay off less as the game goes on. Yeah, Boots of Travel is a great item, but for a carry hero, there are very few where Boots of Travel is a more favorable decision. So I would say for sure get Power Treads after your Wand Urn, or before finishing the Wand. Basically just finish them relatively fast. I think that would be another very good decision. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
Alright, so I think that pretty much covers skill build for Chaos Knight, since you already covered the hardest part about him, which is skipping his ult till later pretty much, and maxing the stun and the Reality Rift. I think you're fine on the rest of the build. You know, get crit after, and obviously get your ulti whenever possible after level 9, and of course stats. So it's pretty easy skill build after you get the first part.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's just general Chaos Knight stuff. In terms of countering enemy heroes you're fighting, I wouldn't really say there's a lot of build variants that I would ever do on Chaos Knight. Most carries, you really just got to build them towards the max damage output, so I think you're pretty much going to stick to the item build every chance you get, probably. I can't really think of too many examples where you might want to get other items. Maybe sometimes a Black King bar, instead of maybe a Black King bar after the armlet, or a Black King bar before the armlet, but even then kind of shifty depending on how well you're doing. Because sometimes people have AoE stuns or a lot of disable, and it can really make a big difference if you just have BKB. So, despite having illusions, you are a melee hero, so you're easier to stun and stuff like that. So, I think that's the only other optional item I would talk about. So,
okay.
Alright, any more questions about Chaos Knight?
Nope, I think that's it.
Alright, cool. Any other quick questions about the general gameplay? We're sitting on about 20 minutes here, so we should probably hop into a game.
I think I have a pretty good handle on most things, so...
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you do. Your KD is definitely good enough to tell me that. So we'll hop into Warcraft 3 here. Let me just close some of my windows. I'm going to close this. And my upload is finished. Hell yeah. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to hop on Battle.net here. And then I'm going to host a game. And then I'm going to obs it. And then hopefully, then people are going to ask why there's an obs, and then I'm going to tell them the truth. Alright, so
okay.
You don't have to play Chaos Knight. I know we just talked about him for a while, but if you feel like playing him, go for it, and then I can watch your gameplay and I can tell you any other mistakes that you're making. But otherwise, feel free to just pick whatever hero you want, and I can do the same thing. It won't be as much information. One second,
okay.
One of my friends is asking. Alright, about to host Alright, I'm in position 0 here. Should be up. Alright, the game name is Purge. Go ahead and hop into that.
Okay.
Alright, we're gonna do a 8P, so you can play whatever you want. Alright, auto start 12. There we go, 232. Alright, so I'm not going to do too much screening here. I think I'm going to remove any mega baddies from the game. And hopefully this won't take too long because it is a day in the afternoon. That would be...
Okay.
It's the only thing I didn't really plan ahead on. So maybe I won't be too... Oh, there's a decent amount of games up, so... Not too bad. Alright, 2 baddies have joined. Alright, let's do some icebreaker questions while we're waiting. So, what state do you live in? I assume you're American.
Yes, I'm in Illinois.
Illinois, hell yeah, I'm in Wisconsin.
Nice.
We're neighbors, dude. What city do you live in?
I'm currently going to school at the University of Illinois in Champaign.
Oh, cool. Well, I live in Madison, so we're really not that far away. If you make me mad, I'll just drive down and burn your house, because that's what people always say on the internet, right? Okay. Who has joined now? Spaceship, State of Mind. Nobody yet has commented about me being an ob spot, but at this point it seems like a decent amount of cash players know who I am. So I usually can pull my weight, which is kind of nice. Yeah, a couple people who have not played before, I should probably boot them. Spaceship. I'm gonna open you. Yeah, there's a lot of mostly bad people in here. A lot of like 0.6s. It always scares me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
This guy went 4-0 in an easy mode as a Vengeful Spirit. I'll just let everybody in here and we can talk about your play. Some of the things that are also important to watch out for is generally just like laning strategies. In terms of like one of the most important things and ways to get a kill. For example, if your enemy stays a little bit too long after the creep wave is gone. So let's say the creep wave dies and they start running away, but they're only like an inch in front of creeps. Do you ever stun them during that period?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always really super important too. That's the best thing I can say off the top of my head, I think. But we can talk about mana or HP management, but I'm sure you're fine. Oh yeah, you mentioned 3 GGs, Quelling Blade, and 2 tangos. You should really get 1 tango and 1 salve.
Okay.
Every time. The reason for this is that 1 tango only heals 115, so 1 times 3 is 345. So it heals 345 HP. 1 salve heals 400. It can be dispelled, but sometimes it happens. I don't know if this has ever happened to you before, where you have 2 sets of tangos at the start of the game, and you take a shitload of damage. You get close to dying, but not dead. And then you just kind of stand there and you slowly tango up until you feel safe again to CS. Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah.
Well, in cases like that, you can pop your salve, you can be back up to full HP, you can keep CSing. That's the important part, basically. You get to actually spend all your tangos immediately. So that's basically why you, most of the time, get some tangos with a salve. So try to do that. I mean, you have 6 item slots at the beginning of the game. You can value that as money, basically. It's pretty equivalent, so...
Okay.
Alright, only good player in this game so far, other than yourself, is Red Dragon 1.17. So, and then we just need one more person. There's a lot of generally bad people in here, but this is what happens when you try to play Dota during the afternoon in North America. Like seriously, it's amazing. The skill quality between night times and afternoon is seriously very drastic. So a little bit of a trick there if you want to get tons of ELO. Just play during the day and you're fine.
Yeah.
So you said you had experience playing tier 2s, right?
Yes.
Do you want to tell me how those games generally went?
They're definitely, on average, harder than tier 1s. I find laning to be more of a challenge, unlike tier 1, where you can pretty much do whatever and be fine in the lane.
Yep, and the reason for that is because everybody picks smarter, pretty much. I mean, sometimes, my experience with tier 2 is that you either stomp the crap out of the enemy team or they stomp the crap out of you. And that's basically because everybody's skill level is high enough where if you have a bad lane, people will punish you. So it is really important to be very conscious of the heroes you pick. You almost always want stunners. I mean, it's unfortunate that's how Dota is. Like, some heroes are way better than others, but that's just kind of how it ends up, you know? So
Yeah.
Tier 2 is a lot about picking the right heroes, having good team setup, having someone that wards and crows and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest difference is the larger emphasis on doing well in the lane.
Yeah, it is really important. If you win your laning stage, you're pretty much set to win the game.
Hmm.
But that's how it should be, so. Alright, one more open spot here and then we can start it out. Not a single person has commented that I'm here, I'm pretty sure. I think at this point people are just so used to starting their games. Come on, one more. Let's do this. Are you going to play Chaos Knight or are you going to play someone else?
Would you like me to play Cast Knight?
You really don't have to. If you really don't want to, you do not have to play Chaos Knight.
Should I try to counterpick, or is that not a good thing to do?
Well,
for
how about
lesson?
this? If you want to counterpick, talk about the countering as you're looking at the enemy team. That's going to be important, I think. And look
Okay.
at your team strategy, because at least then we can talk about how, like, what is going to be effective and what's not going to be effective. So we'll learn something from that.
Okay.
One more, come on, big money. Why are they trying to kick Bruno Mars? Oh, he's a 0.3. Oh god, he's 500 ELO. I never saw it. God, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll boot him. I saw he was a 0.3 before, but I was like, everybody else kind of sucks too. So it's like, you know. All right, two more, big money. Yeah, he's 500 ELO. That's worthy of a kick. So what are some of the other, some of your other favorite heroes?
Recently, I've been playing a lot of Huskar, and before you criticize my build, let me convince you that it actually does work in public games.
Okay. Any
Or-
build works in public games. Come on, man.
Well, yes, but you skip your spears and you go your passive first.
Okay.
It provides such a big surprise once you get to half health that you often get an easy first blood and then just dominate the entire game.
I think everybody maxes the passive first, actually.
Do they? Do people normally skip spears or not?
They get spears, but they do not max it first.
Okay.
That is
I
always the build you go.
intentionally skip spears on him, and the first time I saw somebody do this, I thought he was a lunatic, because spears is great for harassing.
Yes, it is. It's not very good at level 1. The HP that you reduce them by is about equivalent to what you lose, basically.
Mhm.
But yeah, getting his passive first, guaranteed. That is the way you play Huskar, 100% for
Okay.
sure. So, if you want to play Huskar, we can do that as well, and we can talk about lanes. But all up to you. We can even talk about that afterwards if you so wish, and I can give you lots of good Huskar tips. But he's kind of a weird hero. He's definitely very interesting and different. That's
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
think I'll pass on Huskar, simply because the way I play him is so aggressive that there's a 90% chance I'll do well, but a 10% chance I will feed beyond belief and completely embarrass myself.
And that would be embarrassing for the 300 on average viewers that I get on all my YouTube videos. So here we go. AP, we're in the game, guys. And Thunder Squirrel is going to be trying his hand at whatever hero he so wishes. So let's see who we got so far. Nothing on the board. I'm going to do my best not to map hack you in, but even so I will have proof. Video evidence that I'm not cheating. So off the bat we have an Anti-Mage and a Lycan. This is very reminiscent. And a third carry. 3 carries coming out of the Scourge team. And Sentinel team has a Batrider. So Batrider is the best solo hero in the game, pretty much. And Pudge on the Scourge team as well. So what are you thinking right now in terms of counters and stuff like that?
I am thinking Chaos Knight, because I'll see an anti-mage and he does not scare me at any point in the game, which is a very nice thing.
Alright, I think that is a fine decision. Looks like your noob ally repicked the Batrider because he does not like Batrider. Go for it. Nobody else has picked it. They're probably waiting for you. He's going to be playing a Chaos Knight. We know what his starting item build is going to be. Quelling Blade definitely worthwhile when you're fighting a bunch of carries. I'm going to do my best to not point out anything. So yeah, put your items on your hotkeys. If you're extra showy, you can cut down as many trees as possible before the game starts. I sometimes really enjoy doing that. And next pick on your team is a Priest of the Moon. How much do you know about Priest of the Moon?
A decent amount. I haven't played her that much, but I've been around long enough to see her many, many times.
Yeah, it's you know, what am I kidding? You probably played like hundreds of games with Priest of the Moon before. And we have an Axe as well. Priest of the Moon would be wise to solo. A very good solo hero. She can tri-lane as well. I don't like our item build, this magic wand recipe thing. I've seen that before. The only time that really does pay off a fast magic wand is when you're in a tri lane. Or you're a low HP carry in an early tri lane and you're really scared about getting nuked down fast. And it looks like he's swinging to the bot lane with you, so this is kind of problematic for the fact that he's going to be trying to jack your CS, pretty much.
Should I tell him to go away?
Yeah, tell him to go top lane or something, or go mid. That's what you should do. I think that would be wise. It's either him or Clinks, though. We're still missing...
Looks like they both want to come down here.
Yeah. Well, it looks like your nice text ended up working. Maybe Clinks will leave as well. Nope. Looks like Clinks is going to come for you.
Let's see if I can convince them otherwise. Yep, they're going.
Hell yeah, solo Chaos Knight, here we go. So in a moment you will see who you're laning against here. It is going to be a bounty hunter. He picked up a Wraith Band first with a Tango.
Ooh, I'm up against a hasted Lycanthrope.
Yep, but you took virtually no damage, so not a huge deal here. Now, you're kind of in a slightly weird position because there is a Gondor and a Lycanthrope, but since there are other carries on your team, you don't have to be too obscenely worried because of the fact that you really just need levels to dominate this lane. I mean, Gondar is really not that strong of a laner, so you shouldn't have that much of a trouble against him.
And I have an ally now, so that's
Yep.
pretty good.
Yep, you do have a Centaur, so now you should be able to be really aggressive, honestly. Actually, at this point, Gondar has to be scared. If you do the initial stun, that's what should be communicated between you and Centaur. You do the first stun, he does the second stun, and you guys pretty much have a guaranteed kill. Unless he goes in biz. So once you guys are level 2, I would say possibly be aggressive, but for sure at level 3. You generally want to start being really aggressive on those offset numbers. Like for example, level 3, level 5, level 7 when you get your new ability. Because you have a little bit of a timing window there, and generally be more concerned about last hitting than harassing. Always go for CS over denies. That's what's going to be important for you.
Yep.
First blood.
And Centaur will fight you for this. He does have pretty good base damage, but you do have the Quelling Blade, so you should be able to outlast hit him.
I'm not on my game right now.
That's okay, man. It's understandable. It's hard to listen to everything I say and do well at the same time. And last hitting just takes practice. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Oh, I do have a comment about getting 2 tangos over a salve, though, with this
Go
build.
for it.
With 2 tangos, I still have a free item slot, and I can use that to pick up the early wand, which I can't do right now.
That is true. But since you're in a lane where you're not in any danger, basically, and you're fighting a Gondar who's really not going to cast any spells, I would say do not buy a wand right away. I don't know if you ever do. Depends on your lane, but your farm is super good right now. You have 560 gold in the bank. Would you really want to spend 200 on an item that's probably not going to pay off? You know? I mean,
Well, I figure it can't hurt to start getting charges as soon as possible, but...
Well, he's not going to give you charges is the thing, you know? And
Yeah.
and there's other items that are going to be better than a charge. Like, think of rushing a really fast Ring of Health or a really fast Helm of Iron Will. Like, already getting started on your armlet. Something like that can make a big difference. So if you're doing really good in your lane and you have tons of regen in your inventory, why not just bank up your gold a little bit higher to try to get a really good item fast? That can make a huge difference. Same with Centaur, he should really try to save up and get a ring of health if possible. There's the chain stun, he's still stunned. Oh yeah, of course. I was like, why aren't you hitting him? It's because he's invisible and I can see both the invisibles and the non-invisibles. You're a little late on your stun there. When he was that close to you, nice. Nice. Very good. Very good job. That was great. Only downside with your starting item build right now, since you do have that salve, is that you don't have any clarities, and Chaos Knight does kind of rely on his mana pool. And as we've talked about, his mana pool is kind of shit. So, for now, you're in a little bit of trouble because you can no longer be offensive, but you do have a lot of gold in the bank. So, in terms of items to pick up,
should I get a boots right now? Would that be my best choice?
you have 1,000 gold. I'm more concerned about your mana pool than anything. Just continue CSing. I think we might just have you rush a really fast int shreds, because getting an extra 8 intelligence in lane will actually up your mana regen a pretty decent amount. A Ring of Basilius is also a pretty good early item for strength heroes, but in your case I think we'll pass it up. And as well, you can also get a Soapy Mask to start off your on your next urn, if you really so wish. This would be a good stun time, but obviously you don't have any, so just keep auto attacking.
I do have mana for Blink. He's
okay.
He is my allies.
Nice. Alright, one little thing you could be doing there, in between attacks, move a little bit. Do you know how to orb block for ranged heroes?
Yeah.
Well, you can do the same thing with melees, and it can make the difference between getting a kill and not getting a kill. So always do that in between your auto attacks. If someone's standing still, attack, inch a little bit farther towards their tower, attack, you know, do that stuff. It really does make a difference. There's a lot of montages where you can see this happening, where it's the difference between getting a hit or not, and I'm sure that's happened to you before, where you're literally one hit away from getting a kill and you don't get it because you're not quite close enough.
Yeah.
So that's a huge habit to get into, do that all the time. My favorite time to practice that is when I'm auto-attacking towers with ranged heroes, or even melee heroes. Just anytime you're auto-attacking a stationary target, just practice the little bit of orb walking.
Okay, I'm starting to really dominate my lane in terms of CS now.
Yeah, you have a shitload of money, which is awesome. So, why don't you pick up your intreads right now? As soon as your wave pushes a little bit farther forward, you're going to buy your intreads from the side shop. This is just one of the many options we could have done right now, obviously, since you have so much gold.
Okay. My ally just complained to me of taking all the CS.
Well, tell him, just let him be an idiot. He doesn't realize that you're, first of all, you're last hitting better than he is, and you have a quelling blade, and you're carrying, he's not. So he can damn well stop giving a shit. You know, and it's his fault for picking up a centaur. You know, that's the way that you got to look at it.
Yeah. Okay, he did share control of his courier, but he's asking for a crow in return.
Well, I think you're going to get a Gondar kill here. You didn't do any orb blocking, but it's okay. You guys have more than enough to kill him, and you're doing really good. So go buy your intreads in the side shop right now. If he just shared it with you, I say go for it. Sometimes it's easier just to be nice. You know, you're stealing all the CS, so I say do it. You have the money to afford it. Like, you're super farmed right now. Alright, perfect. So now you have an agility treads, and your 8 mana regen will be going up pretty significantly. And obviously, when you need to do so, you can switch those to strength treads or etc. You know. So since we don't have any other buttons to click on quite yet, that'll be your next thing.
Okay.
We may be looking. Did you buy the courier? You did. Okay.
He upgraded it himself. I convinced him that since he got the kill, that was equivalent to me throwing it.
Nice. A little bit of mind games to trick him into buying that. Is that your wand on the way? Or his wand? Okay. Well, why don't we finish your wand next? Since when the courier gets to you guys and all the way back to base, we'll finish your wand so you have more item slots. And then we'll be able to just buy a Soapy Mask as well. Yeah, nice job. You're doing a really good job last hitting. You are up to 31 and 6. Very good. I can tell you for a fact that you're dominating the game in CS right now.
Awesome.
So you're definitely doing good. And treads are also very good for last hitting. If you were in a tough lane right now, I would probably would have told you to get a Helm of Iron Will, because then you would have had armor and regen, or mana regen, and I think that would have been the best option. But for now, I think you're fine with the treads.
Okay. What should I do about wolves just blindly thrown at me?
Well, you are pretty... Oh god. You are pretty fast. Chaos Knight's one of the fastest heroes in the game. You should probably try to save Centaur right now. But if you're slower than them, just kill him. You'll take some damage. Yeah, just run back to the tower and now fight him. Might as well just fight him. Get him over with. Yep, he doesn't micro him, so he's an idiot. Eat your tango and then go back to lane. That's what you should do.
Okay, I'm currently buying items, so I'm gonna sit
Sounds good.
out a second.
And additionally, you should get. Yep, there's your Soapy Mask, and that's perfect. Nice job.
I need.
I don't know if you have the space
125 gold for the urn.
Yeah, you do.
I think I'll get that gold before I send it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, go for it. That's worthwhile. Awesome.
I have an ally in the forest.
It's Axe, and he's going for a soul ring. He doesn't have boots. There's pretty much no chance of him getting a gank off unless you guys stun first. So, yep, you got your items coming good. So why don't you eat your tango now? Axe has been spotted. He doesn't do anything though. Okay. He's good. Alright, he DC'd. You should move him back to your tower quick so he doesn't die.
Where is he?
Right, and press send the courier back when you get a second as well. Alright.
I tried to call using Axe, not realizing that he hadn't gotten the skill yet.
That's awesome. He's gonna die. Yeah. Instead of running that way, you should have ran back to your base probably, because now you're splitting yourself from up from center and kind of putting him in a bad situation. Looks like you're gonna be fine though. And a 4-second, yeah, he's gonna die. Nice play. Now that you have your urn, I would maybe argue that you might want to earn yourself right now. Keep your treads on int, and of course the only thing that can deny your urn is towers or hero base damage. So you can take creep damage and earn up and it's fine. So now you're on int treads. If you feel like you need the mana, you can leave those on, but you may want to switch to strength in case there's a team fight. So yeah, he's saying watch out for Purge.
Accidentally in all chat.
Yep. That's good, because then I can see it. And like we said before, as you sit in treads, your mana will go up. One little thing though, try not to hit the creep extra times if you don't need to. It's important to hit the last hits, obviously, but you don't want to hit it multiple times because that's just going to push the creep wave, as you can see now. So now your creep wave is dangerously far away from your tower, and if someone wanted to gank you, they could make it happen. So it is very important to control the creep wave. And the way to do this is only last hitting, and additionally, denying your creeps as soon as possible if the wave is pushing towards theirs.
I'm under attack.
Good job, you got the like, and I think you're going to be okay. You're going to run back to your base. You can switch to strength treads if you're scared of dying, but I think you're going to be fine. Gondor chases, go on him. Alright, yeah, continue running. Switch to strength. And pop a wand, there's another stun. I think you're going to probably die, but you're doing good. Yep, run. Juke, run!
That's not good.
Keep running. You got it. Just keep juking. Keep juking. Nope, run to the left. You got it. Oh, that works too. Awesome. I didn't know about that spot. Oh my god, perfect. That was perfect, dude. Alright, earn yourself. Switch your treads to int. Because now you're going to regen a little bit more per second. And now you can switch back to strength or earn yourself the second time. Yeah, earn yourself again. And then now you're going to be back up to full. And this is why we get a fast earn in lane, because now you don't have to go all the way back to base. You get all this extra EXP, you're going to have access to a lot of CS, and you ended up killing the bounty hunter with a really nice play there, so.
Thank you.
Looks like they're going on the Lycan, so you can help out with that. You don't have a lot of mana, but it's not a big deal. Nice job. Alright, picking up a kill. Yet another urn. Yep. And you just want these EXP and these creeps, so go ahead and take those out. Now you have a lot of money in the bank now, so this is the point where we're going to be building towards our armlet.
Would you consider, or would you suggest that I skip Django altogether?
In this game, considering that you're doing very good, I mean, you have 2 kills, you have 4 assists, you have 47 CS, I would say yes, skip the Django. If you really are worried about some more stats, I would get a bracer, but considering your farm, I would say go in the side shop right now and buy some stuff. You can get a Helm of Iron Will and a Blades of Attack right now. I think those would be your best options.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to be able to push this lane. Pudge will try a hook, but he's going to not actually land it, so go buy the Helm of Iron Will and the Blades of Attack. And now you're getting disgustingly close to your armlet.
Yes, I am.
Basically need about 900 gold, basically, and you're going to be there. And once you have an armlet, I mean, if you compare the items you have compared to the other carries in the game, you are doing really good. Anti-Mage has a Treads and a Poor Man's Shield right now. That's it. So Chaos Knight with Treads armlet, yeah, you're going to absolutely stomp.
Yeah, I found that at any point in the game, if I have my ultimate up, Chaos Knight just completely melts. Or, not, sorry, Anti-Mage completely melts to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would make sense. There's the hook from the Pudge. Try to save him. Nice, there's the first stun, second stun. Nice. Oh my god, that is so lucky. Nice job. And as you can see, do you see how much more mana you have from those intreads? Like, you really haven't ran out of mana yet at critical times.
Yeah.
You've had enough for the stun. You've had enough for the reality rift. It makes a big difference.
Yeah,
And
there I had to wand, but that's what wand is for.
yeah, exactly. That's what wand's for.
Someone is pinging in the river. I'm not sure what it means.
A player's forces are under attack.
I am not allowed to
Yeah,
tell you.
I understand you can't tell. He is saying Lycan was there.
I don't know if you're aware of how percent-based mana regen works, but it's based on how much intelligence you have, so that's another reason to have power treads up on with the urn. It does give you an extra... It basically counts for having 14 intelligence, or 12 intelligence instead of 12, or 8. Good thing they don't have dust.
And I earned him, so he should be back in the fight.
Just be concerned about not getting hooked right now. I think that's generally the smartest thing.
Yeah. If I do, I'll do a quick phantasm.
And remember, if you want mana right now, switch to agility treads, pop your wand, and then go back to intel.
What is the cycle when I use treads?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's agility after int, but I can't remember. If that's what you mean.
Okay.
Nice job keeping the creeps between you and the fudge. He's got to be annoyed. And there's the sprout.
Player's forces are under attack.
Now a little bit of orb walking would have been good there, but you're still chasing.
Ah.
Use your Quelling Blade.
Oh, forgot about it.
Just go for your next target. Yeah, go Furion. Nope, he's dead. Stun Lycan. That's what I would do. There you go. Yep, yeah, fight him. You have much better items. You might want to... Okay, offensive urn, not bad. You might want to kill the wolves chasing you, because they will kill you eventually. If they switch to strength, and fight them quick.
I think they do more damage hitting me if I fight
Well,
back.
you have
than
2
if I
allies
just run.
there. Or run back to the tower, either way. Just wait till they're done, you can earn up, so... And it's good gold. Alright.
Town is under siege.
So, you can save your wand for later. That's probably fine. Why don't you buy your armlet now? I think you have the gold.
Player's forces are under attack.
I need a gloves and the recipe?
Yep.
Yes. It's on its way.
Okay, good. See if you can get a kill off here. A lot of allies. You're all getting kind of low, though. Alright, Urn's gonna heal you up again.
I'm gonna try to get my item before we go in.
Sounds good.
A player's forces are
Alright, so you want to put the armlet on your hotkey. That's gonna be important. And if you end up doing a phantasm, you make sure that you do the armlet first. It's very important.
Yes.
The only downside to the armlet is after the battle's over, you generally are out of HP. But during the battle, it's super powerful.
player's forces are under attack.
Pudge is going around. I'm aware of him.
You may be interested in going on him, since you are so farmed. I would say fight him. I would say split and stun and go for the kill. Just turn on the armlet first. Armlet, armlet. There you go. There you go. Own him.
That is one dead Pudge.
Alright, next hero. Nice job, next hero. Alright, so as you can see, armlet is really good. Your HP has not moved. You have phantasms with like 60 strength. Yeah. Have you done that with Sanj and Yasha at 19 minutes before?
Well, I normally haven't even started it at this point.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I usually have my Django first, and then maybe Ogre Axe or Belt Giant Strength.
Yeah, and as you can see, you already had the mana just from the int treads. You didn't need to spend the 1800 gold getting a Django, not that it's a bad item. And you already had your armlet finished because of good laning experience and good CS, because your Centaur gave you the extra farm. And you're basically fighting pubs who are in a pub mentality, and you're getting smart items against them. Don't forget to draw on your armlet every time you hit somebody, every time you hit a hero, rather than using an urn, because those can be kind of important. But yeah, you already have your armlet finished. Your damage output is ridiculous compared to all the other pubs who are splitting farm, and as a result, you're already going to have like a super increased KD every single game.
Players' forces are under attack. The town is under siege.
Centaur is a beast. Alright, that tower's getting pretty low. So another important thing, you guys are obviously going to want to last hit this. So when you do go to the last hit, obviously keep your armlet on.
Oops, I forgot it was on.
Alright. Alright, try to last hit it with your armlet. Nice job.
Thank you.
And then, yep, back up, pop the urn. Your HP's still low from your treads, your armlet's off, so your HP's low as well.
Okay, I have 3,200 gold at this point.
That's a shitload of gold. We're going to be making a heart immediately afterwards. Once you get the heart, you're not going to die first of all, and you will be able to keep your armlet on 24/7. So why don't you go buy a Reaver at your earliest convenience. I would say run into Rosh right now. Do you know how to purchase from Rosh?
I haven't done it, but I'm assuming it's pretty simple.
Alright, basically just run towards Rosh right now. Or get this kill, either one.
Players' forces are under attack.
Alright, kill those creeps quick and then run into the Rosh pit. The important part is to get, basically you get into the complete upper right by Roshan, but don't right click on Roshan. Just like click in the darkness right now and press, hold shift and press H. So you'll be standing right next to Rosh, but press H.
The town is under siege.
Alright, that didn't work, but just give it a second. There you go, buy from it now. Got it? Most times he won't actually hit you, but you apparently got just a little bit too close. But you can go mid lane now.
A player's forces
You have an extra, or bottom lane if you want to farm. You can either push or you can farm at this point. You are more farm than everybody else on your team, so it's up to you. But Furion just has a Treads and a Dagon. He's not super farmed. You guys can push if you really want to. You could probably outfight anybody here. Guaranteed.
I could, if I have the mana, I could take 2v1s or 3v1s.
Yeah, for sure. An important thing, what are you deciding to do? Are you ganking or?
I'm gonna go for Furion. It's probably not gonna pan out.
Okay. Yes,
No need,
illusions.
apparently.
Grab that shit, dude. It works with your reality rift. It's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Alright. Looks like you're swinging mid. You gonna try to get a kill?
Yeah.
I say go for it whenever you're ready.
Nope, they ran away.
Yep, they left. I'm very sad. That's okay.
players' forces
One important thing to remember is if you want to continue farming, I mean, you could have been bot lane this whole time after you bought your Reaver, basically. You would have had probably like an extra 10 CS rather than running around. So having a little bit of a goal in the game is also very important. So if you're concerned about farming, after your team fight is over, after you push the tower, you should go back to farming if possible. And bottom lane has not been occupied by anyone on your team for the entire part of this game so far. Since you got your Reaver. And that could have been you farming, and you probably would have defended the tower at least as well. On the bright
Another
side-
thing I've noticed while playing Chaos Knight is that even if I don't have great items, I still can destroy the enemy team. Which is why I'm focusing more on ganking than farming at this point.
Well, you can always argue that, but farming is better, is the thing. Like, it's more definite. I mean, you can farm up items, you will be guaranteed to get a good item. If you gank, you might not be able to. There's a little bit of a team fight, yeah.
Whoops, I was not paying attention, was I?
Alright, you did forget to armlet. Not a big deal, though. Once you pop it and fight it. Alright, your illusions just killed AM. I say fight him, man. There you go. Good decision, stunning Pudge. And you're going to be getting the Gondor next, and I think that's a success. This means I'm a good coach, right?
Yeah.
Alright, good. Alright, earn yourself up. If I were you, I would go bottom right now. Why don't you go to the side shop and sell your Quelling Blade, pick up your Vitality Booster, and then go bottom and farm. Actually, you have the money for your heart already. So go swing bottom, buy your heart recipe on the courier, and get a TP scroll as well. Why don't you get 2 TP scrolls, just to be safe. Looks like Clinks ended up TPing bottom. Alright, since you have your heart, and since you have a TP scroll, I think you're pretty much set. Just go push top. That's going to be the easiest towers to take. It's going to be more gold for your team. So in the meantime, while Clinks is farming now, you can go swing top and just dominate. Go ahead, turn on your armlet and just enjoy it. And no, it no longer stops the heart. You won't regen quite as fast, but you're going to be fine. You're basically going to be at full HP. And look at your damage right now, plus 118. And this is all we had to do here was get you int treads before the Django, and then immediately get a damage item. So just by eking out a little bit more mana from the int treads, we can now shift your build towards earlier damage and earlier rapage. So
Purple is saying all mid now. Should I listen to him?
You should tell him take the easy towers top first. This is all about taking little advantages.
I am currently lagging.
Okay. Well, it's okay. You're owning these creeps and you have free regen, so you're fine. He's wrong. You guys should definitely push top. If you try to take the racks right now, this is like a term in StarCraft that I like to use. You're basically, like in StarCraft, after you win a big team fight, you shouldn't immediately afterwards push.
I'm having trouble hearing you. My internet is not doing so well right now.
Okay, well you just let me know. Oh, you're lagging. Oh shit. Hopefully you don't drop. That would be really sad.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay,
it's
good.
fast forwarding through all the things I've just done now.
Okay, your upload must have been, I don't know, I've had that trouble before. Alright, so basically, by pushing mid, that would be a huge mistake. You want to continue pushing the top lane. The only way you should go back to base is if you need to defend a tower. Okay?
Okay, I'm lagging again. Okay, I think I'm alright now.
Yep, definitely going for your end. You can
I'm lagging again.
Well, you are auto-attacking.
I'm back.
Okay, good. Alright, you what the fuck pwned Furion. Yeah, just run past now. Feel free to earn yourself. But generally you can use earns offensively now. Since you do have the heart, you're not going to need it for regen.
Yeah, I usually do a good mix of defensive and offensive.
Okay.
And an earn kill is one of the most satisfying things.
I would agree with that. See, the problem with your team now is they're all running around like idiots, and if you guys were just pushing top, you'd have a really easy kill. Centaur has a Blink Dagger, and he's farming bottom. I mean, you guys have a huge advantage right now. Why would you not just... Oh, that sucks, you lost your Phantasm.
What happened to it?
They got stuck on the corner, basically.
Okay, I'm lagging again.
Well, you're
Hopefully
chasing
I'll get
Lycan. You're still... Oh, you got blocked by creeps. Are you still lagging?
Yeah, I'm still back in the forest.
Well, you're in their base now. Still chasing Lycan. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's funny. Stun him. Yes. Beast it out. I don't know if you're going to be able to. I think you're going to die.
Ah.
Alright, that's okay. We're going to blame lag. We're going to blame lag. Oh, man. That sucks. Alright, first hiccup here. 8, 1, and 13. We'll let small mistakes slide. Alright, try to organize your team. Tell them you need to push top. There's a super easy tower you can take. When you have an advantage like this, you guys are winning 23 to 12. You want to take the rest of their towers, and then you go for a Rax. It's tough to take a Rax, but if you have a gold advantage, you can easily fight at a tower on even ground. That's a very important teamwork thing that you have to look at.
Okay.
So when you respawn, say push top. Everybody push top. It is a 4v5, I forgot about that. It's a 4v5, so you definitely need to organize. You can't fight 5 people by a tower, as we just found out.
Maybe if my ultimate wasn't on cooldown, I could have.
Yeah, possibly. Alright, next item for you, probably. At this point, it's kind of, doesn't really matter what we end up picking up, but I think you could do, if you look at the enemy team, there's a AM, there's a Lycan, there's a Pudge, Gondar, and a Furion. I almost wish we didn't sell your Quelling Blade because of the Furion, but we could be silly, we could get a Manta, that's kind of fun, but if we really wanted to be smart, we'd probably just get a major damage item. I'm going to look at items for a little bit. Why don't you go push top quick with your allies?
Okay. One of my problems at this point in the game is that major damage items don't help my illusions, and I rely on them so much in big battles.
That is partially true, but even still, you do end up doing a lot of damage by yourself, because now that you're going to have levels of crits. I would say mobility possibly is going to be the only thing holding you back.
Should I port bottom to kill Furion?
Let your team push. He might make it out. Why don't you guys just take the tower
I'll
and
go
then
for it.
TP?
Let's see what happens.
Oh, okay. Alright, go for it. Alright, you're going to get him.
Oh, he has Windwalk.
Okay. I would say you might even be able to just pick up a gem now.
Okay.
You are pretty ridiculously tanky. Clear the creep wave and deny the tower in a couple hits. It is going to be deniable. Let the catapult hit one more. It's not deniable. Never mind. Just clear the creep wave and then go top.
No, it's deniable. It's under 16.
Oh yeah, you're right. I always think 130 for some reason because that's the first tower HP. Good call. All right, tower's deniable. You should TP. Just run top. Looks like they got Gondar.
What should I do? What item should I sell to get? Dumb question. I should sell my wand. For the gem.
I would argue you should sell the urn.
Really?
You don't need the HP regen from it because you have a heart, correct?
Yeah.
It gives you mana regen, but it gives you 6 strength. But I would argue that the wand is better. It gives you
let's see if I can pick
HP.
up this lycanthrope kill.
Okay, go for it. Cue Jaws theme music.
Where'd he go? I just saw him and he ran around me.
A player's forces are under attack.
Well, that was pretty close. You basically came out of the jungle a little bit in front of him.
Was he able to see me from his tower? Is that
Yeah.
why he avoided me?
He was like right next to his tower when you ran into the lane. That's pretty funny.
Because I couldn't see his tower, so I just assumed that his tower couldn't see me in that case. Ah, it's irritating. I should have earned him.
A player's forces are under attack.
Actually, why don't you get an AC next? How about that? That'll be your next item. He's actually quite tanky, surprisingly. But obviously we're going to want to get a gem, because that's going to counter Bounty Hunter, and that will counter its Furion 100%. Yeah, why don't you buy the gem right now and send it towards you, maybe?
Okay, Skype is giving me a pop-up that's messing with my game, so I'm going to Alt-Tab really fast.
Okay.
To hit the little X in that window.
You're safe, don't worry about it.
And...
The town is under siege.
Why don't you sell your urn at the side shop, or you can TP. That works, perfect. So this is the point in the game where it'd be nice to have a Boots of Travel, but you know, you look at the ownage that we got from the power treads, and it's worth it, you know.
yeah.
If we really
Should I be on int treads at this point? Oh, I am on int treads.
I would stay on intreads. Your HP is really good. Your mana is the only thing that is questionable. You know, you're already at half, but you will have that wand. Obviously, that's tons of heal. That's 225 mana right there. So, I would say try to organize your team more and push. They have 5 farmers. You know, they have 5 heroes that can farm. You only have 4, and especially.
Should we take out side lanes, or should we
actually,
just go
yeah.
straight
If
from
you
there?
guys are mid, go for it. Clinks is off dicking around, but Priest of the Moon is also farming. But see what you can do.
Oh, that's frustrating. As soon as my stun comes off cooldown, I'm gonna kill him.
Just fight. Alright, and this part where you take the tower, clear the creep waves, hopefully before your phantasms go away. They all hit really hard right now, so just go straight for the tower. Actually they're gone. Clear the creeps first. Just let the centaur get stuns off and then fall up, or you can just absolutely own the Lycan. That works too. Oh, what was that? Was that a Lothar's Edge that doesn't work effectively? Yep. Alright, take that tower. Tower is yours. You're out of mana, that's the only problem here. We might even do something crazy like get a sheep stick. That would be awesome. I mean, if you get a sheep stick right now, think about it. You're never gonna run out of mana, and it gives you stats.
How do you feel about Scotty?
It's not a bad decision. It's really expensive, and it's a really long build off before you get the payoff. That's the only problem.
But it gives me absolutely everything I need. Is the
It doesn't give you percent mana regen, which means you're still gonna run out of mana eventually.
Eventually, I suppose. But it does give me intelligence, which would help.
It is. It would eventually help. You know what? It would give your illusions chase. It's 5850. Sheep is 56. I say, you know, if you really want to go Scotty, you could go for it at this point. It would not be that bad. I say you could go for it. But the game's over.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to win it. Either Sheep at this point or Scotty would both be good. I would agree with that. You would get so much mana out of it, and you would have slow on all of your illusions. That would be really, really good. Nobody would ever get away from you ever again, especially because you can't die.
I believe that the illusions did not get the slow buff.
Okay, you might be right. I might be wrong. I would have to look it up. I don't know for sure.
I'd play illusion heroes a lot.
Okay.
So.
Alright, I think at this point you can just auto-attack Lycan until he dies. And we'll have a stun any second here, I'm sure. 780 damage crit. That's just from a heart and an armlet, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And Furion is pushing into our base, but I can have the game done before he gets a barracks. But,
yep.
Oh, not at this rate.
You're fine.
We're close to it.
Yep.
Oh, they put wards up. How cute.
Alright. Well, very well played, man. That was super good. 14-1 and 16. I would definitely say that you would have not died at all there if your computer didn't lag like crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm actually really excited that the game went as it did, because all we had to do is change that little item up, and all of a sudden, like, your mana problems were gone, and you were able to do that much stuff. So that was really awesome. And you played it very well. You didn't make any mistakes as far as I'm concerned. You made a couple small ones, but nothing worth yelling at you about. And you could do some melee orb walking a little bit better, but other than that, like, that was great. I'm very pleased with that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Very good job. Alright, so let's see how much time we got left. I think we have another... Yep, we can do one more game for sure.
Okay.
Alright, so we can talk briefly. What hero do you want to play next?
I'm not sure. I'm actually going to try to open up
Play Dota?
the DC client program.
Okay.
Just in case my internet does have a bigger problem than that.
Sounds like a very good idea.
But I'm not all that familiar with it, so give me a second to
I can help you
remember
through
how
it
that works.
You just open up the client and then you log in using your forum login access, and then from there you can see all the games, and then you just have to back out of BattleNet, you double click on a game, and then it'll show up in local area network, and then you can join. That's how it works.
Okay. Does it have to be my forum validated account?
Yes. It has to be your forum validated.
Okay. I might need to change that actually, because I temporarily switched it.
Okay.
Is that worth the time, or should we just play?
I don't know how long it's going to take you, I guess. Either way, I can wait like 5 minutes. It's not a big deal. As long as we talk about something for the viewers.
Okay.
That's the important part. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to go over some heroes here. I'm going to randomly pick them out. You're going to tell me if you want to play them. How about that?
Sure.
Okay, how about... What was a hero I would like... I think I would like to see you play support. Let's do that. I know you can carry effectively in a pub game, guaranteed. I would feel safe having you on my team as long as you knew your item builds as our carry. I want to see you play a support hero, so
Actually, I have a suggestion.
Okay, go for it.
Tauren Chieftan.
Tauren Chieftan. Very weird hero. Well, if you want to get better at Tauren Chieftan, I can do that. I can teach you how to play Tauren Chieftan well. How much?
If you have a better suggestion, by all means. But he's a hero that I've played a little bit to get used to his odd skills.
Uh-huh.
And I wouldn't mind playing.
Okay, we'll do Tauren Chieftain. That's fine. He is a support hero, so that covers that. I would say he's a little farm dependent, but not, you know, he's really not very farm dependent, so that would work out. We can do warding and stuff like that, and we can have a good time with that. So, yeah, that'll work out fine. He's definitely a weird hero, that's for sure. A strength support hero, almost never gets played, but has very powerful abilities.
Yeah, my biggest problem with him is my allies not knowing how the stun works and attacking them before my ultimate hits them.
Yeah, that's really frustrating for sure. If you really want to do awesome stuff, get together with good friends and you can use like Dark Seers and stuff like that, but what do you usually go for an item build on him?
It's all up in the air, really. I found him to be like one of the least item dependent heroes. So basically, whatever I'm feeling that's supporty. If nobody's going to get mana boots and a mech, then I'll grab those. Django if no one's getting that. Force staff if I feel like having fun pushing people around.
That's perfect, man. That's exactly what you got to get on him. Arcane boots or intreads, pretty much, and basically just a support item, either mechanism or a pipe or force staff, another great example. Or if you really want to be a baller, you can get like Veil, or you can get Shivas, any of that stuff. He really is only a little dependent on his mana pool. That's pretty much all he's slacking on. So I would argue, and of course since he's a support hero, wards, chicken, stuff like that. Always have a TP scroll if somebody ends up diving an ally. That's actually a very important skill to get used to. And with any other support hero, you need to do roaming. If you really want to play support hero effectively, you got to learn how to roam. So we'll try to do that at some point. It's gonna be a little weird since you're frickin' Tauren Chieftain. You're not like an easy stunner or something like that. But we can talk about roaming, things like that. Just let me know when you're logged in, by the way.
So I believe I'm ready. I joined through the LAN screen now.
Okay. Yep. Well, yeah. You'll double click the games in the client, and then they'll show up on your LAN screen, and then you can join them. So let me get back to the whole hosting thing.
Okay, should be good to go.
See guard 1, Purge. Alright, I'm gonna host again. Position 0, hell yes. I have permanent supporter, it's so awesome.
Nice.
Yep. The one good thing I've gotten out of volunteering. Our game name is Purge, you should be able to see it in the custom game tab.
Yep, I do.
Okay. Alright, so we're gonna HCL AP it again, and start 12. Alright, the game is hosted up. This will be filled shortly, hopefully. Oops, that's not what I wanted to have it to. Alright, so where's my game? Gotta refresh. Lots of joins already. So for starting item build, you're gonna get a chicken if nobody's gotten a chicken yet. If somebody's already gotten a chicken, you're gonna get wards.
Okay.
1 second, I'm getting whispered. So if nobody gets a if somebody already gets a chicken, we're gonna get wards. This is a really good habit to get into as a pub player. I mean, for a long time, my mentality was like, oh, it's just a pub, I don't need to ward, you know, no big deal. But then when the games come where you actually fight good people and they roam a lot and you get owned, you feel like shit. So it's better just to spend the 200 gold and, you know, just get it done. And how good are you at warding? Do you do a lot of warding ever? Do you know ward spots?
I know the basics.
Okay, like rune control. Always have a ward, especially early game, touching at least one ward touching the rune spot, so your solo mid will always at 2 minutes be able to tell guaranteed where the ward is, or where the rune is. That's super important. General paths. I mean, you can even just stick to the really basic warding spots. Like the amounts the percentage chance of you getting counter warded are so ridiculously low. You just legitimately don't have to worry about it, honestly. So
Yeah.
just be concerned about having good ward placement. You can try to get it up every 5 minutes, but usually in a pub game that's not really that expected. But I'm just going to talk about this as from the support, or from the perspective of a pub support. If you're playing a serious support game, you would be getting wards very regularly, stuff like that. But we're just going to let that all kind of slide here, just because we are talking about pub games. Alright, that guy is really bad KD, but I don't give a shit. We're just going to go. Oh, that guy left. That was the 1200 ELO in the game. He was scared of his teammates. Alright, what do you do for skill build on Tauren Chieftain?
Stun followed by spirit.
Do you max stun
impossible.
first or what?
Yeah, max stun first. Or I get at least 3 levels of it.
Okay. I think, yeah, I level them about evenly myself. I haven't read a Tauren Chieftain guide ever, but I think that makes the most sense to me. Do you know exactly how the aura works?
No. It
Okay.
reduces their damage reduction.
It reduces their armor and their magic resistance based on what their base armor and magic resistance is. So for example, if somebody has 10 armor, at level 4 it reduces that armor by 80%, which means it lowers their armor by 8. So it's actually very, very powerful. He's actually kind of fun to do with big like nuke lineups, stuff like that. And the spirit gives off the aura as well as your main player. So it's very, very powerful actually, if you think about it. And that means in base magic resistance is 25%, so it'll reduce their magic resistance by about 20. A little bit more than that, if my math is wrong, which I think it is. 1/5. No, it should be 20 exactly. Am I right? Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
20. Yes. Yes. All right. Cool. So that's actually a lot of magic resistance reduction. I think he's the only hero that has. Well, it's him and AA that have natural magic resistance reduction through their skills. I can't think of any other heroes. I think those are the only two, off the top of my head. I think. Soul Catcher from SD. I shouldn't even bother opening that can of worms. That's 3 heroes. Okay, there's a lot of heroes, but you can get Veil with him if you really wanted to. I don't know if his ultimate counts as magic or what.
It is half physical and half magic.
See, you know more mechanics than I do sometimes, man. Awesome. This is great. You're teaching me stuff. I should just like keep saying things like this, and my students will correct me, and then I can be like, awesome. I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, so I think Veil would be mostly dependent on what my teammates are. Like, completely dependent, actually.
Yeah, definitely true. That's for sure. Somebody told me, he told me to kick myself. Kick 11. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, man. I'm the host. It's okay, Chalky07. Everything will be okay when the game starts. See, it's like a fine balance between explaining your point and alerting more people that you happen to be there. Nobody even noticed last game, you know,
Yeah,
before
that
the
was
game
pretty
started.
funny.
And obviously, once if I don't talk in all chat, people just forget about it, you know.
Yeah.
So we just need 2 more people here, and then we'll start it up, and hopefully people will not rage quit at the sight of an observer. Okay, so we talked about skill builds. Obviously, get your ult at 6. Max the stomp and the spirit first. I think that makes perfect sense. Max them evenly or whichever one has preference, but for sure get at least 3 levels of stomp. I think that's perfect. In terms of item builds, we're gonna do an early chicken. If someone already chickens, we're gonna get wards. You're gonna try to get arcanes. You might want to start off with going towards a Ring of Basilius in case you get fairly underfarmed, because that's kind of like a cheap way of getting an arcane boots and a nice support item, obviously. But from there, we can build depending on who we're fighting. That's basically the way we're going to look at it. But we're probably going to get arcane mech. I think that would be the best option.
Okay.
And since you are the initiator for your team, that can be quite a big deal. We'll see how well the pubs end up organizing into pushes, but from there, I can instruct you on stuff like that and when to go in. And as long as you have good reaction time between your spirit and your stomp, you should be okay. As long as your teammates don't all wake them up. But we'll see how that goes. That's going to be coming down to pub teamwork, and that can always be either way. Absolutely horrible or shitty. But as we found out last game, all that you need to do is have a little bit of kind words and people will listen to you. All you had to say was something like, hey, can you please go a different lane because I want to farm down here, and people left. So that really does make a big difference. Most people just rage, but that stuff does really make a lot of a help.
Yeah. I was impressed that I got Purple to upgrade his own crow since I got him a kill.
Yeah, that was pretty wise. That's funny. This guy is trying to close 11. Who is he talking about? Alright, I'm gonna start it. He has a bunch of bad people, but I don't give a shit. We'll see if they just keep going. Ooh, that guy was pretty bad. Ooh, that guy was like worse than the last one.
Which one?
The 8th player. He has 10% win ratio.
Ooh, wow.
He's on his way to being 500 ELO, but whatever. We'll just play the game. We're gonna talk about how to play the heroes, not about how to stack teams, I guess. Let's just say you're guaranteed 17 ELO this game. Maybe not guaranteed, but you have a very good chance of it. So, AP, okay. And you're going to be playing Tauren Chieftan here. You can pretty much just buy chicken right off the bat. I'd be kind of surprised if someone purchased one, but even then, just go for it.
Should I get chicken and wards?
Probably not. That's kind of taxing on your early item build, and almost always someone else will purchase the opposite of what you buy, so assuming good players. So just buy the chicken right off the bat, drop it, share with everybody. If people dick around with you, feel free to unshare them, but generally the best option is just to... Oh, cool, we have 2 couriers. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's the Scourge team buying a courier. Not your team. So go ahead and share that with everybody, and we should have about 403 gold left. 433.
Yes.
Why don't you get the kind of go-to easy item build is 3 GG's Salve Tango Clarity. That's like the easy support item build, kind of fills a lot of things. If you're playing like a serious game, you'd probably get a smoke in there, but since you're not planning to roam at level 1 or level 2, don't worry about it. And look at that, somebody even purchased a flying courier, benefiting your team right off the bat. Alright, so let's look at who the lanes are going. Venomancer and a Centaur. You probably want the Krob to solo if she's good, so why don't you head top lane for now?
Yeah.
I think that would be the smart thing to do. And it looks like she is going to go mid. Probably going to rush Fast Bottle. Her item build isn't that good. Fast Circlet isn't worth it when you have more spaces. You could get 3 GGs obviously and get more payout. And Venomancer randoming, and he has nice items, kind of. Not bad. Kind of cool, he's just going to scout this ward. That's pretty sweet. Alright, so we can look at the enemy team here. We have a Furion, a Pudge, a Priest of the Moon, a Huskar, and a Unknown Hero. So it's kind of a lot of dangerous stuff. Huskar can kill you. Though you are a strength hero, you have pretty good HP. Pudge could hook you and kill you. Arrows as well, but I think primarily, once you end up pushing, I think you will be able to support your team. Your team setup is actually quite nice here, despite having 2 melee top. Assuming, yeah, Ricky will come top here. But you're just going to basically be concerned about supporting him. So primarily, you're going to want to deny creeps for him so he doesn't have to do it. You're going to be sitting ready to cast spells to support Ricky if he gets dived on or if somebody attacks him. That's pretty much what you got to focus on here.
Okay.
So it can be kind of boring, and it's going to be tough since you are fighting a ranged hero. But hopefully Ricky is good enough to last it, and it looks like he will be. And feel free to just tell him, Ricky, you get all the CS. As long as it's nice to not have to predict somebody else's stuff. And yeah, try to scare Furion back if you can sometimes. Yeah, just hit him a few times, scare Furion back. But like I said, you're going to have to be a little careful on regen. So now, since we are playing a support hero, we're always going to be aware of what could I be doing in this game. Since you aren't CSing, there's always going to be more possibilities. Unfortunately, this game won't be perfectly explanatory because of the fact that Furion will be harassing you guys appropriately. But you could look at the mid lane and say, could I gank Pudge? It's going to be me and Acropolis versus a Pudge kill. Could we get a kill on him? And I think the answer is yes at some point. It's a little early right now, but I think at some point, yes, you could get a kill on Pudge.
Okay.
Maybe when you hit 3 or 4 or something like that, well, you can try to get a kill on Pudge. He did go bottle first, so he doesn't have very many stats right off the bat. Just be glad it's not like solo Huskar or something like that. That would own you.
Yeah.
Alright, but yeah, for now you're doing fine. Concerning yourself with denies and last hits. Feel free to get last hits, obviously, yeah. If Ricky's not there, if he's not going to get a last hit, you can take it, no problem. You can do some pulling and stuff like that. There's some weird pulling you can do from the bot lane. It's kind of weird and unusual. I actually don't know exactly what time to do it at, but you could eat a tree and pull the creep wave into your wave if you really wanted to be a bastard. Ricky's being really aggressive here. You're going to probably have to end up giving him regen. Yeah, why don't you salve him? I think that would be wise. Or just tell him you're going to salve him first so that he'll back up. So yet another way that you're going to support him. His item build's not very good because he doesn't have any regen, and now you have to sacrifice that salve. But this is really important because he's immediately back to last hitting, and since he is your team's carry, he's going to continue CSing, and this is super important, obviously. So even now, since you have a courier, you could even ferry yourself some regen. Damn, we actually have... Oh, I'm sorry, that's somebody else's. You could actually ferry him more regen if you really wanted to. That's kind of like mega support, not a huge deal to do, but you could do something like that if you really wanted to do so. Alright, that rocket is coming for you there. Rookie's being kind of aggressive. Gyrocopter just got to lane. And nice, eating the tango. Everything seems to be semi-okay. Not the best laning experience ever, but it's not horrible either.
Yeah.
I mean, since you're a support hero, it's more important that you get EXP at this point. I kind of wish you were bot lane so you could do pulling and stuff like that. Do you ever pull?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, pulling is very important. Gives you something to do. Gets you experience. Gets you gold.
I think I'm actually going to level Ancestral Spirit up to 2 before Stomp.
Okay.
Just because it's a better harassing tool and I'm at full mana.
Go for it. If you feel like doing a stomp or something, if one of their guys is a little bit out of position, it will not be that bad to go and do a stomp. Like right now, go for it. Try to get Gyrocopter. Alright, and just run on up. Fortunately, the creep wave got there, but it worked out pretty good. You did a pretty good chunk of damage to him. He's going to have to at least use the tango. And you still have enough mana from your clarity potion. There's a rocket coming. Once you hit it, it's going after Ricky. See if you can... No, you won't be able to kill him in time now, but he'll eat that.
I played Gyro a decent amount, and rockets are impossible to kill early game.
Yeah, that's probably true.
At least if you're melee.
Yeah. So it looks like Furon did some side pulling there. That ended up working out pretty good. First blood goes to the Scourge team. Yep, and Pudge killed himself as well. And Huskar's going to get a kill on the Venomancer now, I think. Pretty much, for sure. Yeah, he's going to die. So, I don't know. We'll see how this game goes. You might end up losing, but that's what happens when you play support. You know, you have to rely on other people. Nice support. Good job. And you're going to keep Ricky alive, so you have done your job. And you will have your ghost back eventually. Could have maybe been aggressive, the Gyrocopter.
Yeah, would have if I had realized beforehand.
Yeah. So he'll pop his salve, but he's running out of regen now. You still have your clarity potion. You should probably back off and pop that. Stay within EXP range though, that's the important part.
Okay.
And that's a little right there, perfect. That's EXP range, about there I think. Yep.
I generally look and only dip in when a creep is going to die though.
Perfect, that's exactly what you gotta do. So even if they deny those, you'll still get some experience out of it. You do have 500 gold right now. I think you could possibly just pick up boots. But then that would kind of leave you short on other options. Death Prophet's coming in here. Just gonna blast on... Yeah, it's a pretty ineffective gank. I don't think you're gonna be able to combo. You don't have the mana, I don't believe.
Yeah, I do not.
Yeah, so just back off. She was kind of stupid there. Trying to get a gank from... I mean, if she really wanted to gank, you gotta ult and come from the back. Somebody just got a kill. Killed Huskar on the bot lane. Venomancer did. It's 1-2 now. You're not getting rocked as much as you guys were a second ago. Why don't you buy a... Why don't you get a boots? I guess just go for the boots. You will be able to last hit a little bit better, and you will be able to hit people when you use your spirit. So you'll get the boots there.
A Scroll of Town Portal sound good?
I feel like you won't be able. I say save your mana. You need to get either some HP regen or a Basilius next, I think. Because you can't really do very much right now as a result.
Well, I have a missile coming at me.
Yep. You can. That's plenty far. Yeah, you'll be fine there.
You want to run far enough that they won't hit you, but you don't want to run farther than you need to because it does damage based on distance.
Yep. That's correct. Alright. Oh, should have waited one more hit there. Try to get the CS by your tower if possible, since you are kind of low on gold. Even if you have to eat a rocket, it can be important. There you go. Back off again. Good job. That stuff will make a big difference to getting the items you need. And even if you are solo here, yeah, you're not getting a lot of farm, but you don't really need a lot. It is a Furion free farming, but he went wand first, which is semi-bad, and your team is pushing mid pretty hard, so I think you're doing fine. Ricky already has his boots as well. He's almost got his second Wraith Band, so I think you provided a pretty decent environment for him farming. He didn't do super good, but yep. And always get CS over denies. That's very important. Unless you're fighting like a Shadow Fiend, it's probably the only time I'd ever be concerned about getting farm. All right, why don't we wait just a little bit longer here? You might want to buy, yeah, pull that creep wave back, just attack one of the creeps and run again, or you can do that. Oh, that worked out really nice. You did that on purpose, right?
Partially.
Very good. Alright, you have a lot of gold now. Why don't you buy a, how about you...
How do you feel about Urn? I like Urn. If no one's getting it...
Alright, go for it.
I
think that would be great. The only thing is you might want to bring a Tango, or maybe a Salve and a Clarity as well. The early regen like that will actually make a difference. You should have gotten that last hit probably, but that's
Sorry.
okay. You can buy first. Go for it. There you go. Nice, at least you got him with the spirit. So now you have a lot of last. Go ahead and hit him. Just go for the hits. You have plus 40 damage right now. If you have chances to slap him, you might as well. It's pretty much almost a DD, so.
Uh-oh.
Alright, you're gonna die. For sure, but that's okay. So you go down. Did you buy items?
I
Nice, you
finished my
your
Urn.
Was that all your cash? Yes, it was. Okay, so you got your Urn finished. Not a huge deal. Not the biggest deal ever. Unfortunately, nobody's warding, so that possibly would have saved you. They picked off the tower in the mid lane. Ricky almost has his third Wraith Band, so I think he's probably going to be fine. I think he'll probably carry the game if he can outbeat Huskar here. And as long as your Centaur is good as well, but they're doing a lot of roaming here. Venomancer went Arcane Boots, that's not bad. A lot of mana for your team. And Death Prophet has a little bit of HP, gonna go fast Django, I guess. One second, I think someone's at my door.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. Some maintenance guys opened the apartment door to make sure the water was good, because they had to, the main broke yesterday apparently. Alright, cool. So you're back in your lane, you're farming, you have your Urn, 400 gold.
I went for Furion. I used all my stuff on him, but got creep locked. I might have been able to get the kill if I hadn't been.
Gotcha.
But
well,
currently
that's
low
too
on
bad.
mana because of it.
Alright, so why don't we, the only thing I would argue, well obviously please get every last hit, because every second that you're here is a second you're not supporting your team. You are a support hero, so you really should be with your team, but since you don't have mana, try to farm your Arcane really fast here. And as soon as you have your Arcane, you should probably stick with your team, basically. Venomancer is here now, so that's pretty good.
And he just Arcaned me, so I'm...
Okay. You're good to do a combo finally. And you may want to finish a Wand soon as well. I would say get a Wand and your Arcane, and you're pretty much set to push until the game ends. Like, I would say you really don't need a lot of items other than that. Tower's getting pushed on the bot lane, but not much you can do about that.
I can pick up...
We'll grab your Wand right now. I think that would be wise. You don't want to spend too much because you're trying to save up for your Arcane.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
I haven't set up my Skype well, so it gives me little notifications in the corner which messes with things. I will need to mess with that soon.
Alright, so
That hurt me.
did you do a
more
full
than that
combo
hurt.
on the creeps?
Furion was there.
Oh, he was, okay. Yeah, just pull the creeps back to the tower where you can last hit more. Hit them right now. That works. Alright, so you got your wand finished. You're 200 gold away from getting your arcane boots.
Yeah.
But your HP is pretty low, so you're gonna have to be pretty careful here. Yeah, why don't you just roam with the Venomancer for a little bit. Try to get a kill, because then you're gonna have no problem getting HP.
Yep. Oh,
They're doing pretty good on the bottom lane. That looks good.
I found a regen in the river. It's my lucky day.
Yeah, no kidding. I always hate when I'm like outlaning somebody mid and they find a regen after like me almost killing them. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Alright, alright, so why don't you... Okay, top tower is gone. Did you guys kill that? Or did that get denied?
I didn't see.
Okay. Oscar apologizing because he GTG's.
Okay.
And
So I finally get to bottom and now there's nobody here.
okay,
I think
Well-
I'll last hit this creep wave so I can get my arcane.
okay, that sounds good. And get a TP scroll as well. You should be able to afford that after you last hit the whole group.
The town is under siege.
Oops, missed some of those there.
It's okay. Grab your arcane.
A player's forces are under
I'm about to have more mana than I need. That was a poor play on my part.
Yeah, just run.
Am I getting hit by a missile?
Can't tell you that, man.
Yeah, I am.
You're gonna die. For sure.
player's forces are under
Alright, so you go down. You do have enough for your arcane at base, though. See if Centaur makes something happen.
That was a really poor play. I stomped before I saw he had already started a missile, so my stomp didn't do much.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Wow. Killed the Pudge. There's a gem, and Ricky kills it. Oh my god. Pudge just took such a big hit there. But yeah, that's part of the problem with playing a support hero. You need to be able to get kills, you know, with your, oh my god. Oh, he did get him good. Oh, that was close.
a player's
Crob's not doing too bad. Arcane Django is really not a bad item build, but yep, send the courier to go get a... Okay, you're already on that. Nice job. Energy booster. And just go with your team, basically. I mean, if your team was there guarding you, if you're supporting your team, you can cover up their weaknesses as a support hero. We've unfortunately spent a little bit too much time farming a lane to try to get arcane. That's partially because you missed some CS, and that's understandable.
town
But
is under
if that's the case, you should really just be roaming with your team, because they're being effective gankers, basically. They're getting kills, and you can get gold that way, and you would have had your arcanes probably 2 or 3 minutes ago. If that was the case, if you're just with the team. And they're actually pushing a shitload, so just stay with them for the rest of the game, basically. Go for
Okay.
initiations. Hopefully Centaur can do stun follow-ups, that would be very powerful, and Venomancer as well. You could probably legitimately like own their whole team if you get good initiations on them.
My allies are saying Roshan next. Do you have any complaints?
It's a little early, but it could be okay. It might not be a problem.
player's forces are under attack.
Nice job, very good. And wow, Centaur survives
And I
with
earned
this
it.
double edge. Nice job. Alright, cool, great team fight. Oh, there is a Furion. He's gonna try to get a kill. Cast what you can. Oh nice, you have a combo again. Furion is in trouble. Alright, great job, man. Once we
Thank you.
finally get you with your team, everything is better. And now you can support them with your arcanes, you can earn up Ricky even. And we can continue pushing. Ooh, Crab almost dying to a tower. Very close to almost dying to the tower, holy crap. And you're going for the Roshan. You should, Crab's
I'm trying to convince him out of it because we're all low health.
yeah, now's not really a good decision. I would say stand on the high ground, don't stand in there. At the very least, like if you stand on the ramp to your left is generally the best spot.
A player's
I mean, you have vision of Brown from your creeps right now, so you know he's there. Yep, right up there. Stand like right there. Up the hill. Right there. Perfect. Stand right there. Feel free to earn somebody if they're low HP. Hopefully Ricky
I should
doesn't.
not help fight.
You're not going to accomplish very much. Like, the Roshan right now is a little dangerous. Even Ricky should not be in there. And yeah, he gets punched every time that Roshan that he gets close. Look at that, he's almost dying to freaking Roshan. It's really bad.
He's about to get himself killed, it looks like.
Venomancer can pretty much rush by himself. This is definitely a dangerous rush. If these were good players, they would kill him, guaranteed. Oh my god, Venomancer doesn't have his poison. No wonder it's taken so long. Oh god, so bad. And while you guys spent 3 minutes going for a Roshan, which you just now finally kill, you lose an ally and you're probably going to lose the tower as well. And everybody's low HP. Maybe give the Aegis to the Venomancer, but not a big deal. So once they all go back and heal, which they really should go do, I think Centaur's gonna be fine, but Ricky's gonna have to go back.
Yeah.
You might as well just farm, honestly. Venomancer has more items than he's got fine items. Oh, you're gonna spot.
Can I kill him?
Yeah, let him Gale first, then go for the stomp. Where's the Gale? Where is the Gale? How did he just Galed? Oh man, that's Venomancer digging that up really bad. You guys could have gotten that kill for sure. That was not your fault at all. He just now, god, what a bastard. It's like super easy Gale. Get him! Get him!
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I think he's gonna. Oh, maybe not. Oh, that Django! Oh!
There we go. That took way too long.
Yeah, for sure. Man, that really sucks he didn't end up burning. Alright, you should TP bot and defend that. Do you have your aura now?
Yes, first level of it.
Okay, there it is. Alright, Furion is pushing top lane. His items suck, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. And Krob and Venomancer and Ricky are going to get the mid lane, so you guys are sitting really good right now. And Ricky actually last hit, so I think you guys are going to win this. 12-7. I think you're sitting pretty good. As long as you can defend the Furion. But he's not good at paying attention, and he's taking tower damage. Sucks to be Furion. He's pretty fast though. And you're gonna get him. Nice job.
Thank you.
Whatever. Whatever. Just deny. Wait, no!
Thought I could get it in 2 hits.
Nope.
But
yeah.
then after the first hit I'd committed because the thing would have killed it.
Furion's talking shit, man. Oh, you're not a shit talker, huh?
I would normally pay more attention to it, but between the game and talking to you, I'm pretty occupied.
Yeah, that's true. Boy, your team is ganking so much here. Alright, yeah, why don't you go back to your team? How close are you to your mech? That's 800, so you're...
I'm 400 away.
Alright, that's fine. You can bring your shield to the group. You don't really need to worry about farming 400. If this was like in a normal situation when you have like a solo lane semi-carry farming a mech like a Windrunner for example, usually your whole team will wait until the Windrunner gets a mech and then they push. That's usually the best option to do while your one carry farms or your one carry comes with. But in this case it's not exactly holding your team together by large amounts since you already have gold advantage. So I think taking a tower or taking a Rax right here is fine. Just the most important part is you initiating on at least 2 heroes. So that's what you should be focused on.
Okay, should I
Yeah, pop
wait
that.
until they're not by their tower then?
If you have
he doesn't know that an invisible... If he's invisible, that won't hurt him, does he?
No. If you have a creep wave, initiate. If there's no creep wave, don't initiate on their tower. But if there's a creep wave, go for it.
I'm lagging a little bit. Okay, I'm better.
A player's forces are under attack.
Comes the arrow. It's gonna hit the Venomancer. I would say wait for the next creep wave. Nope, they're going in. Alright, yep, perfect. Nice job. And your ulti as well. Oh my god, this is gonna rape. There's 2 kills. Saw that coming. Alright, everybody's dead except for 2 heroes, and we got a buyback, so. But you still have more heroes than them. Once you buy your mechanism, send it on its way right now. And pop your shield as well. Click your shield every chance you get.
A player's forces are under attack.
Nice job. That was perfect counter initiate. That was absolutely perfect. That saved your allies big time. Just worry about getting the racks right now. Yep. Don't worry about diving. Try to get them to do the same if possible. So once you get the racks, you can go for kills if you really want to. But yeah,
Don't know what he's thinking.
He's just setting up Ricky for a kill and getting out like a badass. That's all.
Okay.
Alright, cool. So you'll have your mech in a second. Did you use the speed burst on the crow yet?
A player's forces
I thought I did. Apparently I didn't.
Okay. And oh no, it's Huskar. With 0 items. Alright, you may want to pop your... What? Pop your mech, pop your mech!
Ah.
No! Pop it now? There you go.
I've...
You just got it, it's understandable, man. Just auto attack this guy, he'll die. You have like plus 142 right now. And earn yourself would be
Those
wise.
trees last forever.
Yep, he probably maxes them out.
A player's forces are under attack.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Earn yourself. There you go. Alright, I would try to instruct your team to swing top, take the really easy tower, and then go for your second racks.
Not bottom, even though the bottom tower's already in the base and hurting?
Well, there's a lot of them up is the problem. I mean, Furion's there. You guys can go for it. I don't think it would be unreasonable. But top would be the easiest to take.
A player's forces are under attack.
I might be wrong. I mean, you could do either, but now you're pretty low. Just mech up and earn yourself.
I'm gonna have the wand I've been neglecting to.
Venomancer's really low as well. I think if you guys just took top tower really fast, it's another 200 gold advantage that you have over the enemy team. I mean, people keep getting hooked like that. That's kind of shitty.
A player's forces are under attack. The town is under siege.
He's dead already.
Oh.
I don't know. He's gone. Is he not?
He's gonna survive,
Oh,
man.
wow.
You could have gotten him. You should have hit him one more time. Yeah, just back up. Alright, plenty good though. Good enough to get the shit talker to rage quit. You guys, that's the victory right there. Alright, so you have a lot of gold. You're fighting basically, I would argue you should just get a hood or a pipe. Build towards a pipe because you're fighting a Pudge, Priest of the Moon, and a Gyrocopter. It's a lot of magic damage.
Okay.
Yeah, you can finish your hood right now. Once you have that hood,
A player's forces are under attack.
you're going to take a lot less damage, and once you get that pipe, you'll make a huge contribution to the team fights here. Oh god, they're so low. So look at this, the tower died to creeps, but like, they've been so close to dying this whole time. I mean, if you guys would have just backed immediately, taken the tower, and then gone for a Rex, the top wave would have been pressured this whole time. It's a little bit different, you know? It's like they have to worry about all their lanes losing, not just like one of them or two of them. Ricky's gonna die to towers, maybe? No, he'll be okay.
He's being pretty cocky there.
Yeah, for sure. Here's the arrow. Will it kill him? Oh, it got him! Oh, I got that whole thing. That was awesome. Alright, go swing bottom. Go push bottom. Try to instruct your team to do it. Might as well now. Everybody's down here.
Town is under a player's forces are under attack.
It's the ulti. Alright, go back to the racks. Good job, you're already there. Crob's still chasing, and they're quitting, so that's the game. That's 3v5 on their team, they can leave if they want to. And, did you automatically return your spirit? What's the hotkey for that?
You just hit C again, it gives you a new skill.
Oh cool, I did not know that. I did not play Tauren Chieftan very much, but there you go, picking up the win, and you definitely did some good initiations. We were a little slow on the arcane farm, but I think the Urn was a very good decision. I really agree with that. I'll have to get that as well when I play a Tauren Chieftain next. But yeah, you did a really good job. Yeah, your counter initiations were great. You know how to play the hero, and the only thing you need to work on is your last hitting a little bit, and I think you would be pretty good. You spent a little bit too much farming time when you could have been supporting your team, since they were gank heavy. But in a normal like farming lineup where everybody just farms their lane forever, that would have been not a big deal. So yeah, I'm happy.
Thank you.
Now we just have to wait for the rest of the Scourge team to stop dying. And if we look at the 2 games we played here, well, you're 8-3 and 6. In your last game, you obviously had a ridiculous KD. I think in no time you'll easily be able to get it above 1. So
yeah, when I started this account, I was very rusty off not playing Dota for a while.
Gotcha.
You would be surprised at how much I forgot.
Yeah.
Like, I just wasn't used to laning, and without a good laning, you're going to feed the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know how to come back from a bad lane.
Yeah, that's true. Dota is not forgiving, that's for sure. It's the only reason why League of Legends is so popular, is because, you know, it just rewards you, or it doesn't reward you, but it lets you come back from making big mistakes.
Yeah.
Or making mistakes at all. So ulti. One of the coolest ways to ulti is like ulti first out of the darkness, so that like the very tip of it hits them, and then they don't have as much time to react. Because you know,
yeah,
like
I've never pulled that, or maybe once on accident. But it's very impressive to see, like they get, it just gets inside of them, and all of a sudden they're hit with it, and there's nothing they could have done.
Mech your team. Do it. No.
Do what?
I was gonna say heal your team. You gotta pay attention to that stuff, but I mean, not that you did bad at all. You did great.
I was
so.
just watching the Throne self bar going down at that point.
Okay. Which makes sense. That's what I would have done in your position, but it doesn't make a difference. So, all right, cool. Well, I think we're about done here coaching.
Okay, thank you.
I hope you learned a lot. It seems like your play improved. You can definitely play CK effectively now. And I think just the biggest thing that I could teach you for pub games is just be nice to people and ask them to do stuff if people don't know. Like honestly, if you ever want to get along with pubs, just be nice to them. Like don't try to rage at them and make them get better. You know that it's like obscenely different. And you already discovered all you need to do is ask nicely, and people helped out the game succeed. So yeah, that's probably the best advice I could give you. But yeah, you definitely did great. I think you're not gonna have any more trouble playing pub games for quite a while. Just be very aware of your item builds and always be aware that you could possibly have something better. So that's very important to think of.
Sounds good.
Never be afraid to challenge your item builds. That's also important. So, all right, cool. Well, thanks, John. It was fun.
Joe.
Damn it! Damn it! I didn't check, and I thought I remembered. Joe, it is. Fuck. All right, sorry, Joe.
That's
My
fine.
bad. My bad. I know it now. All right, that's great. So I'll send you an email with the YouTube link when I end up putting it up. I don't know if you're a subscriber or not, but you
Not
should
yet.
be, man. All right, you definitely should be. But your video is gonna be on there for sure. And hopefully, I'm sure lots of people out there are going to get lots of good insight of this. So thanks for doing this with me, and I plan to do this more in Dota 2 for everybody else that's watching. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. If you guys want to be accepted for coaching, send me an email. It's at Purge Coaching, I think. Is that right? God, I don't even know.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
purgecoaching@gmail.com. So if you guys want to contact me, go send me an email there. It's for to give me links to your stat accounts, preferably a North American player, because I want to play in Dota Cash if possible. And just link me your accounts and a little bit about yourself, your Dota history, stuff like that, and hopefully we can get stuff set up. I do have a couple more requests in there, but I'm pretty busy in the next week, so I think that's it. Alright, Joe, thanks for sitting here with me, and I think that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yep, thank you.